And here we go back for another episode of the 10-7 show with myself, Tyra, Goose, and Tara. And it's on the, I'm sorry, does it stink? Does it stink? I just grossed my wife out. I had a little gas. It's all right. But we're here. I'm going to turn everybody up now because we're on another episode of the 10-7 show. And, we are not together. The two couples are not together. We're actually separated. We're social distancing right now by about 8-9 miles. Maybe.
Two different counties.
We in two different
counties, two different areas.
Yeah, two different counties.
But we still come together
safe. We're socially distant enough.
We come together like Voltron to put together a good show. So, and you know what? So. I don't have a would you rather because I doggone it. I closed my web browser. Trying to close everything up. I closed my web browser.
All right, so we can do one at the end.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end. And I'll let Tyra look that up. She's looking up one now, but we'll wait for the end to put that together. But we got an interesting show today. Tara found an article or a video of Derek Jackson.
Well, somebody else posted the video, and it was in our group. I don't know who posted that video.
Right, it was in a group.
Yeah.
It was of Derek Jackson. And if you don't know who Derek Jackson is somebody that makes videos that I wouldn't even know how to classify him personally, but he's a guy that makes videos giving relationship advice to people, or relationship tips, in a sense. He's kind of made his name in the relationship tip world, relationship advice world on Facebook or YouTube. I don't know where he actually begins his posts, but a lot of women like to listen to what he says and kind of take it as gospel. A lot of guys tend to not like what he says because he might be messing up the game, or what he says is just kind of off base, and a lot of guys actually think he's trying to cash in on for himself. But anyway, we'll talk about that too. But here's what Derek Jackson had to say about whether or not the guy is actually, he got three things here that he wants to say that whether or not the guy is actually really into you. So take a listen to this and we'll come right back.
Team Jackson, what's happening? So I was just thinking, man, looking through my DMs, seeing women say, hey, D, tell me this about this guy. I think he's a horrible person, yada, yada, yada. Basically on the dating scene, after that initial getting to know you stage, when the dating starts getting pretty serious, even a relationship should be getting considered, and she's not quite in getting the vibe that she wants, a lot of women tend to say, you know what, the guy must be a horrible person. And I'm gonna let y'all know, of course, there are dudes out here who are trash. The same way we got women that are trash. But a lot of times, and we don't talk about this enough, sometimes the guy just don't want you. And I know that comes out super brash and super harsh, but sometimes y'all don't want a guy. Only thing is, y'all be confused, and when y'all are confused, you end up investing so much of yourself that you can't get back after it's crystal clear that he doesn't want you. I hate for it to end up that way. So let me tell you, there's 3 indicators that a guy does not want you. And I hope everybody is listening to this, man, because it shouldn't be this hard to figure out. But the first one is this: if he does not allow you to make any rules whatsoever, like it's his rules or the highway in terms of how you guys engage with each other, when y'all can hang out, where y'all can hang out. If it's like the moment that you say, hey, this is how I roll, this is what I need, this is what I like or do not like, if the moment that happens, you start noticing that he's starting to get a little distant, he starts pulling away, his energy changes, if it's his rules or no rules at all, he just would like to have you around. He don't really want you for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're cool so long as you're a convenience, but the moment you become inconvenient, you're also out of there. Now, the second indication that the guy only would like to have you around, but doesn't actually want you, and it's actually kind of similar, but if you don't get any more than his pre-allocated investment into a woman, financially, time-wise, energy-wise, all of that. Now, we're going to stay away from the finances just for a second because people get super butthurt when we talk about that. But, if he only has Friday open for you, ever, if he only can chill with you or talk to you within X o'clock to X o'clock, ever. If he only, we will talk about finances, only spends $50 on a date, but nothing more. Yes, people have their standards and they should be allowed to, but if there's no compromising, if you're not an exception to any rule whatsoever, guess what? He would just like to have you around, which Everybody should have a right to do that. The problem is when you have a woman, or if you are a woman that would do anything for this guy, or, he's a high priority and you're really serious about where you're taking things, you're starting to catch feelings. Hell, you'll swim across the ocean to make this guy happy, but he won't even step over a puddle for you. That's what the problem is. It's not about a good or a bad guy. It's like, y'all on completely different pages, and your page about to get you hurt. Now, thirdly, and most importantly, because I think it's the most common way to tell whether or not a guy actually wants you. If you straight up ask him, where do we stand? How do you feel about me? What are we doing here? Where is this whole thing headed? What are your intentions with me? If you ask him that question, and what proceeds the first part of his answer is the word but, that man don't want you. He might like to have you around, but that's absolute most. Hell, he might even have a whole woman. But if you ask him, what are we doing here? Do you even like me? Because I like you, yada, yada, yada. And he says, of course I like you. We spending all this time. We went on dates. We talk every day. Come on. But that's when all right, he don't really want me. He don't really want me. If he says, of course I like you, of course I'm digging you, of course I'm into you, but you know that because when a guy really wants anything, he makes it crystal clear. He's almost offended at the fact you would ask him whether or not he actually wants you. Ask a hungry man if he wants to eat. Ask him. Ask a horny man if he wants to. Like if a guy comes over, he wants to have sex with you. Ask him, do you want to have sex? He probably ain't even going to really want to talk and answer the question verbally. He might just get up and just, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be crystal clear. But yet ask a man who doesn't really want you like that anything in the neighborhood of, do you want me? And watch him start his answer with something that affirms it before he figures out what he's going to say after that magic word. But, so, moral of the story is this. If a guy wants you, one is going to be crystal clear with no question whatsoever. And if it's not already, he's going to make sure he fixes that ASAP with no questions asked and no but answered. And you're going to be able to make your own rules for what you're comfortable with and how you roll. And then 3, you're definitely going to be an exception for him somewhere, somehow in his life. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I'll let y'all later. Peace.
Okay, so you heard that. Okay.
Right.
And he had a few things that he said there, and I wanted to talk to the ladies of the group. Of course, you two are married, so you already know that we're into you. All right, made the ultimate sacrifice.
I hope so.
I hope you still into me.
we made the ultimate sacrifice, and
the ultimate sacrifice.
You
ain't die for me, dog.
Right.
But
we made the second ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly. It's the runner-up. But so what do you ladies think about what he said? Are you buying it, or you think it's accurate? How you feel about it?
I think he had some good points, but I hated his delivery completely. When I listened to that, I was like, okay, why 3? There's definitely more than 3. That was my first thought. And then my second thought was, like, he went on for so long and really didn't wrap it up. I was like, okay, what was the whole point of this video? Like, I get what you were trying to say, but the way you said it,
didn't have
it was kind of like, what are you talking about? That's how I felt at the end of that video.
How about you, Tyra?
I get what he was trying to say. I do feel like he didn't wrap it up, but I do think that his points were valid. And I think so because
absolutely.
I think I've been in some situations like that. And I think he was just trying to, I don't think those were the only 3 points, but I just think he was trying to give you the 3 main points, and maybe that's what he should have said.
Yeah.
But I do think that the points he had were definitely valid because I've been there. And so shout out to Derek Jackson. I think a lot of the things he says are pretty valid. I think just like a lot of the guys dislike Steve Harvey, like anybody who, to me, and this is my own personal opinion, any guys who kind of give a woman a heads up on some of the games that guys play, guys automatically like shut him down and don't like him.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? At the end of the day, most of that stuff is kind of common sense. Like, I don't think it's common sense. You kind of know, like, if I feel like it's like, okay, so the article that we're going to go over this week, that we're going to discuss for our show, a lot of things are pointed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm going through it, I'm like, this is really common sense. Like, if somebody likes you, they call you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do all the reaching. It should be reciprocated.
It should be, but common sense ain't common. And some people can be very, very slick. You know, like they'll say, "Oh well, you know, I work a lot, so or my job is to talk, so I don't really like to talk on the phone, so I'd rather text." Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Whoa, let me stop. Right. Let me stop everything right there. Let me stop everything right there because you just explained me.
No, I did not explain you.
You did.
I did not.
I work a lot.
We used to talk on the phone all the time.
But I worked a lot.
Yes.
I do a lot of talking, and I don't be feeling like talking sometimes.
Yes, it was legit for you, but I've been in a situation where that was the cap up.
So let's go. So let me get the floor for a minute. So this is one of the reasons that I don't always buy what Derek Jackson says. He generalizes things, right? He generalizes things and encompasses things in one big generalization where it's not always. What he says is not always consistent or correct for people, especially a person like me. I work a lot. I work overnights. Right. I coach. I just actually got rid of a job that I was doing. I was around the clock working. I was talking on a job where I coach. I'm talking all the time. On a job where I was doing lessons, I talk all the time. When I do the radio, I talk all the time. So, I mean,
that's true.
For me,
but like he said,
would I get a pass?
No.
Would I get a pass for not wanting to talk?
Because guess what? We're married, right? You wanted me, right?
Right.
And guess what you did?
Right.
You still
talked to me. I'm talking about
if
we're not married.
No, even when we weren't married, you still talk to me. The day we got together, you had work that night, but you got up anyway and went with me to that graduation because you wanted me and you wanted to be with me.
That's not why I went.
Well, why did you go?
Let's
you wanted to look at all of this.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's get it. That's not why I went because I wanted you.
Why'd you go?
Because if you remember the stories that we've said on the show, I didn't realize that we should be together until that trip.
I know.
So therefore, I just said.
But you still talk to me though. But what I'm saying is, saying is, if a man really wants you, regardless of how hectic his schedule is, and you want to talk, he'll find time to talk to you, even if that's not his thing.
Right.
Like if you're talking a lot, it's not your thing, and you wouldn't know it. If I knew that
graduation was in Dover, I wouldn't have went.
That's why I didn't tell you. I knew you wouldn't have went if I told you where it was.
See, we got to talk about how women be tricking these dudes.
Lie by omission.
All right, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for me to point out some of these other ones? Or?
Yes,
absolutely. Go
ahead. Okay. Well, that was the first one. The first one basically states if he likes you, he'll be really keen to talk to you whenever he's got a spare minute. If he likes you, you'll be on his mind, and he'll want to know if he's on yours. But if it's always you who's making contact first, that's a sign that while he's happy to chat to you or chat with you if you initiate things, he's not keen enough to reach out to you. That was the first one.
What do you think about that, guys?
Yeah, good. You all be quiet.
I think it all depends on the schedule and what people have going on in their life. So I know it's,
y'all keep falling back on this schedule thing. Like I find it hard to believe that you don't have 2 minutes in your day to call somebody.
But why are you not listening to what I'm trying to say?
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
No woman allows you to only talk for 2 minutes.
So what I was going to say was, like it belongs on the schedule. So if their schedules don't mesh, you dig what I'm saying? Listen, I know I'm guilty of it. My wife talks about it all the time. And our schedules are matched. We both work pretty much 9 to 5. But I get to work, and I work all day and won't call her. I work all day and won't call her, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that I no longer love her. It just means that I'm preoccupied with what's going on in my day. Now, the one thing that I will agree with that the boy said is you don't know if you don't ask. Ask where you stand.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to
Makes sense.
and you're going to have to take what he says as gospel until you have proof otherwise. So if he says, no, I dig you, then you say, all right, well, look, let's work out a schedule right now. I know our schedules don't mesh, and I know we don't always, have each other in the forefront because our schedules and our work is hectic. So can we agree on a time of day that no matter what, we'll call each other? We can set a alarm on our phones and we'll call.
Well, that makes sense if you're both
Right.
into each other.
Exactly.
But what this
Right.
is saying is
But
how
if
you
he's
could
not-
tell that he really isn't into you. So if you guys are on the same page and you both agree, yeah, we're going to take 2:00 to give each other a call every day, no matter what, then that's cool. Y'all both are digging on each other. But if it's the female that's only doing the reaching out and he'll answer your call and bust it up with you for a few minutes, but he's not going to call you back or he's not going to call you the next day. You have to be the one doing all the calling. Then it's not an equal relationship. Like he's not thinking about you.
So
Wait,
let me add.
Wait, hold up, Justin. If I was allowed to continue, if that's the avenue that you take, look, you need to schedule this so we can be in contact every day. At that point, if there's an issue, then there goes your red flag.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
And what do you think? What's your idea of like an issue? Like what?
So if you say,
Excuses.
let's call it.
So he
Let's call each other every day at 12 o'clock. And then if he agrees, and then day one it doesn't happen, day two it doesn't happen, and then he has excuses, then that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's put it like this.
See, I was going to bring it all full circle if I was allowed to continue my thoughts.
All right. So let me throw something let me throw a wrench into that whole. We're going to schedule a conversation. Okay. If I'm not into you, right, but I want to keep you around for some reason, I'm going to make that call at that scheduled time. I'm going to talk for those 2 minutes that you were talking about, or whatever the case may be, just so I can keep you around. Now I'm making that scheduled appointment. Now I'm keeping you around. Now that's how I don't know that's how a player would do it.
But then that's
Right.
when you got to pay attention to the other signs, because there's
other signs.
There's other signs, and the signs will be there. Like I really
Right.
agree with
But-
what he said. Like if a man really wants you, or a woman for that matter, wild horses can't stop that person from getting to you. If they really, really want you, this is what I always say. Look, if Barack can make time for Michelle, what's your excuse? You ain't that busy.
Mm-hmm.
You not that
Nope.
busy.
We don't know what Barack and them was doing.
He was the president, and they still went on date night.
We
You
don't
ain't
know
that
that.
busy. You not that busy.
They went on date night in the public when
You
they had to be
not
out there.
that busy.
We don't know what they was doing.
And
I
they're
don't wanna
also
hear it.
married.
That is true.
All right, we need to move on.
Okay.
Let's move on. All right, so another one here is he cancels repeatedly. If the two of you are dating, then the odd cancellation is legitimate. If he tells you his parent has died or his grandmother is sick or he's got a cold, then believe him. Sometimes life does get crazy and we don't have the time to see people no matter how much we'd like to. Folks, you there?
Well, okay,
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're constantly.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That wasn't the end of the thing.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. Stop.
Oh, Lord. You giving us half information.
You know, y'all know, here's the thing. I'm used to printing out, okay, snafu. I'm used to printing out our articles every week, right? And so I didn't print it out because there's no ink in our printer. So I'm reading it from my laptop. I just forgot to go down a little bit. So anyway, but if he's canceling on you repeatedly and not making sure to reschedule for the very next possible opportunity, that's a big warning sign that you should be running for the hills.
Absolutely, I agree.
So I mean, so are we talking? So okay, because like what these things you're talking about, like y'all said earlier, is common sense. Like these things are from what these things are, the cancellations, the not talking to you and all like that. This is like completely side,
General.
not even side John. Like this is like if these things are happening and you're into this dude, like you crazy, you out your damn mind.
Right.
But see,
Right.
some
But
people
not
could
only
be.
that, this stuff.
Some
No,
people
what
like
I'm
to
gonna say
give
is
people
this stuff-
the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe he's really that
That's true.
busy, or you know what I mean. Sometimes you don't just want to dead somebody without giving them the benefit of the doubt.
So I guess we're assuming that
Right.
it started off with communication and dates and all like that. But if it didn't start off that way, if this relationship has been like this from the rip, you ain't the one.
Exactly.
You just not.
Right.
And you don't need,
Right.
you shouldn't have
Or
need somebody to
you're
tell
one
you.
of many.
Right. You're definitely
Right.
one of
See,
many.
all these red flags, all these red flags are things that would cause red flags in any relationship. A relationship between a doctor and a patient. Inconsistencies, canceling appointments,
Right.
with your hairdresser,
Absolutely.
with
Absolutely.
your
Right.
dentist. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why we say, when I say common sense, it's common sense. Because why would you accept things from somebody that you're into for a relationship, but you wouldn't accept them on a professional level?
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like this has side joint written all over it.
Absolutely.
Not even
I
side
thought
joint.
so
This has,
too,
it's like,
but
it's like
Side joins.
this is like 6 off the bench.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
This ain't even
Right.
side, this
I was
jump
thinking
off.
the same thing. Either
Yeah,
that
jump
or it's
off.
just like he's kind of like, all right, I'm bored. Let me see what she's doing.
Right. It's jump off material. Absolutely. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Is there another one?
You're always the one making plans. Just as you're always the one texting him first, you're always the one that suggests that the two of you should do something together. He's happy to agree if he's not got other plans, but he's not going to make an effort to organize things with you or think of ideas for dates you might enjoy.
Now this one I disagree on. This one I disagree
Why?
on because I'm not a planner at all.
Okay.
I'm just not. Like when we all went out to Hershey like a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I there was no planning on my part. I just said, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Like none of
Okay.
it, even down to the game of Uno.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm just not a planner. Like I'm a go with the flow
Okay.
type of person, and I've just always been
Yeah.
that way.
Okay, that's cool. Mm-hmm.
Tyra over here shaking her head, looking at me. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, I'm just
I'm a
not a
planner.
planner.
What you got?
I'm a planner.
Yeah, Tyra's the
Well,
planner.
But
Well,
this is my
it's-
question.
You're the planner in the relationship.
Yes, I
Justin,
am.
how did you propose?
How did I
He
propose?
What'd you say,
planned
dude?
it.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, okay, I did plan.
Exactly.
I planned it, right?
All right.
So you
So,
can plan. You just
Justin.
don't.
Justin,
Yeah.
you got Tyra a birthday gift that she wanted. That was the plan. She didn't know you was getting it.
So okay,
Right.
so plans come in many shapes and sizes, is what you're saying.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
listen,
So you
man, I'm
are a
not-
planner. You
listen.
just plan
He
differently.
playing with what
I'm not
he
about
wanna
to short
plan.
myself.
I plan to be
I'm not about to
spontaneous.
short myself, so I don't want nobody else to short themselves.
I
You
got
dig what
you.
I'm saying?
Appreciate
Get
that,
all your
brother.
credit, bro.
Appreciate that. But see, now you made me have to. I'm gonna have to expand that horizon now. So
Absolutely.
nope, ain't happening.
Listen, man. Y'all marriage is still young. You got plenty of time for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So
Definitely.
slow down.
Get the
Don't,
plan.
don't
All right.
rush me, Tyra.
Get
Don't
the
rush me.
notebook out.
Babe, what do you think about that?
I'm a planner.
Yeah.
I plan
You are.
everything.
Right.
I mean, and so some people are and some people aren't. Just like Justin said, he's not. But if you give him some examples, he'll find out that he kind of is. You dig
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But it's all about the expectation of the woman.
Right. But from
From
the
the planning
guy's
comes
point,
from.
from a man's point of view, take yourself out of. I have a wife of 19 years. Take yourself out of that, right? If you were dating and you weren't a planner, you let her do everything. Is that a sign that you really don't like her? Like, do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, I can sort of agree with that. I mean, because some people just don't see the vision, and it's really not their fault. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But during the courting process, what do? If you're truly into her, you put your best foot forward, and
Right.
that involves planning. You dig what I'm saying?
Mhm.
From where you're going to eat
Mhm.
to what movie you're going to see. You dig what I'm saying? To find the little obscure places just to like, oh, I've never been here. That type of thing. All that involves planning. But if you're not that dude, you're not that dude. You might be the come on, let's go to the mall and buy the mall up, dude.
Yeah, that was me. That's me.
Nuh-uh.
So, yeah, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Okay, so like I might say, let's go to the movies. All right, where you want to eat? Which one? Because all right, so I had a question for the ladies pertaining to this. So, like I said, I'm not much of a planner, right? But I am a planner, as Goose just proved. So let me go ahead and put that in there. So
add that to your resume.
Here's part of some of the reason why I'm not a planner. I'm not a complete planner, right? As Tyra goes through my bag, why are you going through my bag?
You got coupons in there.
I know, I sure do. Anyway, so
2 for 1 on toilet paper.
I could say let's go to the movies, and we're going to see. I don't know. Let's go see Malcolm X. Whatever. And afterwards, I could say, well, let's go to eat at Bertucci's. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As ladies, are you okay with that? Just we're going to go to Bertucci's? Because most times, if you ask a woman what she wants to eat, she has no idea. So if I said let's go to Bertucci's, you're okay with that?
No, she won't like it, but she won't tell you that.
I mean, I kind of like Bertucci's.
No, I'm
not just saying Bertucci's itself, but I mean,
you're just saying any restaurant in general. Okay.
Like if I say
I would have to say if it's a restaurant that I would be like, ew, I'm not eating there. I wouldn't say it out loud. I probably would be like, well, I would say it to you now because it's you. But if it were somebody that I was dating and I liked them, I would be like, well, I don't, last time I ate there, I didn't have a good experience, or, I don't really like your food. Can we do something different? Unless you have a gift card, then I'm all for it. Let's go. I'll get an appetizer.
Well, where you want to go? What you got in mind? And then that's when we never get to eat because we can't never figure out what we want to eat.
That's not true. Like, what are we in the vicinity of? Like, seriously, I'm not picky. And I know Goose says that I am. But for real, like, on one of our first dates, I was like, dude, order a pizza and get some beer. Like, I don't fucking care. It's not that deep to me. Like, I really am. Is there going to be food in my future? That's all I need to know. Will there be food? As long as you're willing to feed me, I don't give a damn. We can go to Wawa. But that's just me. I know it's some high fidelity heifers out there that don't agree with that. They're like, girl, because if he don't spend at least, we can go to Wawa. I'm fine with that. We can get
now, not if we
a shorty, bag of chips. I'm sorry, what?
Not if we dating. Like, it depends on how long we dating if we get to go to Wawa.
See, if I can't take you to Wawa, if we courting and I take you to Wawa.
In the beginning, you better not take me to no Wawa.
Let me that's where I'm going to find out what type of person you are.
But you know what, though? Here's the thing. That's how I am, though. Like, I don't care. I'm talking about day one. Like, as long as you feed me, I will be your friend. Like, it's that simple. I don't care. Is there going to be food in my future? Yes. I don't really care where it's coming from. As long as we don't go to an all-you-can-eat buffet. We can't do that because, number one, you shouldn't eat all you can eat, and all their food tastes like it was boiled. So let's scratch out any buffet, but we can go anywhere. I'm not picky. Just feed me. I don't really care.
Okay.
Tyra and I went to the Waffle House, which is cheaper than Wawa.
But I like the Waffle House.
I like it too.
Okay then.
I have never been to a Waffle House.
What?
Road trip. We can't go nowhere yet.
Not now.
Well, actually, no. Maybe we could go in like 2022 if they're still around.
There's one close by in like Middletown, Delaware.
Yeah.
So it's not too far.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one in Lancaster too. At least it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Who knows? After this quarantine is over, who knows what's going to still be around? All right. He breadcrumbs you, and I had never heard about this. Yeah. Breadcrumbing is when a person doesn't really like you, but still wants to have someone around for moments when they need company. They want someone on the back burner.
That's what I was
talking about. An example of this, right, so exactly. An example of this, the breadcrumb zone. Yeah, so an example of this is if he tends to watch your Instagram stories or like your posts online to make sure that you're still thinking about him with minimum effort on his part while actually never properly getting in touch with you.
Man, I look at everybody's Instagram stories, and it's crazy to say ain't nobody thinking about me whatsoever. Not even my wife.
That's not
There's nobody thinking about me in their Instagram stories. I tell you that right now. So, babe, you ain't got to worry about
how
nothing.
Can you tell us somebody's thinking about you in their Instagram story? I don't even. I mean, I
got to catch it in that 24 hours too. So it's
Yeah, I agree with the breadcrumbing thing. I kind of see it as like dangling a carrot in front of a horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, they give you just enough or communicate with you just enough to keep you like, all right, there might be something going on there. You know what I mean? Maybe they do just enough to hopefully they'll get some or to keep getting some, but they don't really want you.
Right.
So I agree with that.
That's what I was. Yeah. That's what I was.
I agree with
that
earlier.
Too.
Oh, so that's why you was like, I'll call you at 2:00.
Yeah.
You was dropping a crumb.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! Wait, you guys left the house today?
Well, I went outside. I cut the grass.
Oh no, because you said I'm going to call you at 2:00. I'm like, wait, where'd you go?
No, earlier.
Oh, no, we're talking about from the example from earlier in the show.
Oh,
my
bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have been drinking. Yes, I have. All right. So another one.
Broke out the hookah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yes, I'm doing both. You haven't met each other's friends. He has neither bothered to introduce you to anyone that's important to him or made an effort to meet any of your best friends. If he seems to make an effort to keep you separate from his friends and hasn't shown any curiosity to meet your mates that you're constantly telling stories about, he's probably not planning on getting serious.
I've never done that.
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that.
I've never done that. Even with people that I wasn't even that serious about. Everybody's met my friends.
Really?
Probably. I mean, if they were around long enough, yeah.
You was a breadcrumber.
I guess.
You were a breadcrumber, Justin?
Hell, I'm married now, so it's like, I guess you could say you're breadcrumbing everybody, but, everybody's met my friends. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that one.
So every person you've ever dated,
if they've been around long enough, yeah, they've met my friends. Wherever, if I've been in like Maryland, if I've been here in Philly, wherever, they've met my friends. I mean, it's kind of hard not to meet my friends. Like now, like I don't see my friends that much, right? But I mean, coming up, I've always been around close by my friends, so it's kind of hard to not meet my friends.
Right.
Now,
yeah,
family,
I can make the same statement about my cousins.
Family's a whole different story.
Yeah. Would you say good?
No, see, I said I can say the same thing about cousins. See, because cousins may meet somebody, but mom, grandma, aunties may not meet somebody.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well, that's different in y'all's situation because you got 701st cousins.
I think everybody that listens to the show know that we have a lot of family.
Thank you, Goose. Don't be hating on our crew.
At least she keeps the number consistent.
Shout out to the cousins. Y'all know who y'all are.
I do keep the number. I do keep the number consistent, and every time I tell somebody about my in-laws, I'll be like, "Yeah, because my husband has 701st cousins, and they were all in our wedding."
Starting to make me think that she actually counted.
She may have. All right, what's the next one?
So these next two kind of go hand in hand. You don't really know anything about him, and he doesn't really know anything about you. If he hasn't opened up to you at all, that's not a good sign. He keeps conversations superficial, and you've not yet to see any cracks in his armor. He doesn't know anything about you because he hasn't asked, because he's not interested. He doesn't remember the things you volunteered about yourself either. Conversations tend to be pretty banal. What's that mean, banal? B-A-N-A-L. And focused around him, with him expressing no interest in your day or life events. That's pretty rude. You guys think about that?
Yeah, I guess like it's. I agree with it to this point. Like it depends on how long this situationship has been going on. Like you talking about like a month or two and you don't know anything, you're not going to know anything. If you talking about like it's been a couple years and you don't know anything, what you looking for?
I was looking at the definition.
Yeah, I mean, but there are people who stay in relationships for years and have never met friends, never met family, don't know where the people live, don't really know the person. You know what I mean? Like that.
We watched this happen. Like we have a friend. How long did they date back? Like 10 years. 9 or 10 years they were together. A long time, and she never went to his house.
Never been in his house and never met his family.
Look, now they've been on vacations together. They come to our house all the time and chill. Never went to his house. He's been to her crib.
She do not know where he lives. Now, I mean, they separated, and she's going on to get married and has a family and all that other kind of stuff. But for 9 or 10 years of your life, you date somebody and you don't know where they lay their head at night? That's crazy to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I mean, looking back on it, I thought it was insane at the time, but looking back on it, I'm like, yo, what was that dude hiding?
A whole nother family.
Oh, yep. He had a whole nother family.
I had to. I mean,
I don't see how unless his wife. The only way I could see that happening is if he brought his wife here. She didn't speak a lick of English. It wasn't no TVs in the house. She couldn't listen to the radio. Like, I don't think it was another family. I think he was into something nefarious, but that's for a different day.
Oh, he was unsavory.
Sound like somebody fixing another drink.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's definitely a sign, because for me, like, my apartment that I just moved out of before Tyra and I moved in together, it was crappy. Like, it was crappy. It was a crappy apartment, but I couldn't wait to have people over my. I mean, you know, it wasn't, but it was. You know what I mean? Like, it was crappy.
It was a bachelor pad.
It was a bachelor pad.
Definitely.
I couldn't wait to, like, have somebody over that joint. Like, you know, and it was crappy to me. So if a dude is, if 10 years goes by and you ain't seen this dude crib,
10. Yes.
He's hiding something.
And I mean, I'm sure
They was always doing the do at her house, I guess.
either her house or they would get hotels.
Yeah, he had a family.
Right,
he had a family.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't
think he had a
think he had a family. I really don't.
Maybe he was a
I
government
really and truly
assassin.
don't. Like I said, I think he was involved in some nefarious activity that he never told us about. We didn't know about. Thank God he never brought nothing to our door. But yeah, 10 years.
He was a ninja.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it was crazy. Like, we would laugh about it all the time. Like, yo, you still never been in his house? He's like, no.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
That's wild.
Are you proud of that?
Yep.
Yo, but the thing about it is, see, like, I don't think he had another family because they was, like, always together. Like,
Yeah.
like they would come to our crib and, like, hang out,
Okay.
like, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, a lot.
Okay.
Or we would go on vacation or just go out.
Matter of fact,
Maybe he was homeless.
Tyra, you met him.
Yeah.
I don't think he was homeless because he had 3 or 4 vehicles and they were all luxury.
Maybe he lived in them.
Yeah.
I met him?
You
Yeah,
met him. He
that's-
held your baby. I'm gonna tell you his name off air, but he held
We'll
your
talk
baby.
about
Yeah,
that.
you met him.
You met that unsavory character? Y'all knew he was unsavory?
Listen, as far as I knew, he went to work. Like, I'm just saying he was involved in some stuff that we
Maybe
weren't
he was
privy
selling
to,
drugs.
and I'm glad he didn't involve. I don't know what he was doing, but anywho, let's move on from that. That's
Okay.
that's
Let's
for
keep
another
it
day.
going. Let's keep it going.
What's the next one?
The next one is, you can't think of any nice things he's done for you. If you like him, I'm willing to bet that you've already made countless little gestures that would prove it to him if he was open to them. But he's not, and he hasn't reciprocated. If you sit down and think about it, you can't think of one nice thing that he's ever gone out of his way to do for you.
Yo, we should just call this show the Side John Chronicles or the Jump Off Chronicles.
Right.
Like this. Like,
All right.
this is
Why not
definitely-
get right? Because it definitely sounds like that's exactly what
Right.
this is.
How to know if you to jump off?
There you go.
Like, if these things apply to you,
You jump
may
off.
decide,
Oh,
Joe.
the jump off.
You definitely are to jump off. He asked you for dating advice about other women. Who does that?
Oh,
This
no.
one should be fairly self-explanatory.
That's how you
If
get
he's asking, right.
That's friend zone
If he's asking
material.
you for tips, right? If he's asking you for tips on his love life, he's not interested in you.
Wait,
Trust
asking
me,
for a
he's
friend.
not trying. He's not trying to make you jealous. You are well and truly in the friend zone.
Or maybe he's gay.
That's quite possible.
That's quite possible. He could be in the closet
Yeah.
and he keeping you around
Well-
just so other people don't know he gay. He could be, not
Like
ready
that
to
show
come
we
out.
watched the other day, babe. Babe, what was that show you had me in here watching? And they found each other and they was in the pods
Oh, I saw that.
and they was talking and then they got
yeah.
together and then they
On
went on
Netflix,
vacation
right?
and he was like, yeah, it was
yeah.
Netflix. Whatever that show was, it was terrible.
I liked it.
Love is blind.
Yeah, Love is Blind.
What but from the first episode, when I first saw that dude, I was like, he's homosexual.
I just
There's
thought,
nothing
I
wrong with
thought he
that.
had
But
some tendencies.
I was like, why is he on here looking for a chick? He's going in the wrong room.
He
He's
going in
gay.
the wrong room.
I knew he was gay. Yeah.
He don't want her.
And I was like,
He just,
no, wasting that girl's time.
That's his
making her look
trophy.
stupid on television because he didn't want to come out to his family probably.
Yep.
He told you he's not looking for a relationship. I mean, you can't be more blunt than that.
Right.
Yes, I know. People
that one's
sometimes
not
aren't
on
looking
him.
for a
So my thing
relationship.
is, why
Hold on,
would
she's reading, baby.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. Yes, I know people sometimes aren't looking for relationships, but suddenly meet the one and fall in love. But that doesn't happen very often. More often than not, if he's not looking for a relationship, it doesn't matter how amazing you are. You're not going to change his mind. Other warning signs are if he tells you that he just wants to see where things go, or that he's focusing on his career right now, or that he wants to work on your friendship before taking things to the next level, blah, blah, blah. He might even believe that this stuff is true, but if he really liked you, none of that would matter that much. That's true.
I agree.
If somebody tells you flat out, I'm not looking for a relationship,
don't sleep with him, number one.
Then
wait. No, we're not saying that. So if somebody tells you that they're not looking for a relationship, and neither are you, then what you guys come up with is totally up to you. But if you are indeed looking for a relationship, then maybe that won't be the dude for you. Exactly. And don't try to make him think he wants a relationship.
Right. And don't try to hang in there to change his mind. Because then you're going to be mad if you catch feelings. And he's still, he like, well, I told you.
No. That'll be on you completely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of sex, your relationship is pretty. Your relationship is pretty much entirely based on sex. You never see each other if sex isn't involved. Most of your interactions occur late at night, and the sex is pretty centered on his needs and not yours. Sounds like a booty call.
Jump off.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, never runs over at the mouth.
If he only calls you at 10 o'clock and says, "What are you doing? Can I come over?" That's all y'all ever do. He don't never take you nowhere. Come on, man. You sound foolish.
It's jump off status. Absolutely.
Yep.
You the jump off.
Mm-hmm. All right.
How long does it take people to see?
Jump off?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Some people will take the jump off because that's the only way they're going to get a certain man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I know some women who have done that. They'll rather be his jump off. I know some women who would rather be a jump off than to not be in a man's life at all. That's like how sick this person's mind was.
That's desperate and pathetic.
Yep.
That's okay. She loved me in the morning.
No, that's like really desperate and pathetic. That's really sad.
Mm-hmm. Love me in the morning.
And this is a grown woman, not a teenager.
Woman. No, not a teenager.
Listen.
This person is infatuated with a man, and sometimes when you have an infatuation with someone, you'll get in their life no matter how you get in there. It's some people
and let them
out
treat you in any kind of way, and you just keep coming back for more.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But see, an infatuation that goes too deep could be a sign of mental illness also.
Oh, yeah, I believe so.
I mean, it is a diagnosis for that.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
Look at all that education coming through.
Right.
That's why I said common sense ain't common. You'd be surprised what people out here putting up with.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we all know common sense ain't common. All right. You couldn't turn to him if you needed help. You wouldn't feel comfortable reaching out to him if you were in a tricky situation and needed a helping hand.
I agree.
That's it for that one.
Did you just stomp at me?
Yes.
Tyler just stomped at me, yo. I don't understand. Like a mom.
Why?
Because he's getting ready to be out here burning out my nose hairs.
Yeah, that was like the 7th time, and you didn't even peep nothing.
The 7th time? You just in here popping off.
Yes.
You know what?
Did you give him beans?
Pop off, son.
No, I just had some. All I had was some fish and that brew that Goose gave. You know, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Some hops.
Some hops got me.
All right. So the last little tidbit from this article is you just know it. If something deep down inside is telling you that he doesn't like you like that, then he probably doesn't. Don't squash those feelings down. Listen to what your gut is trying to tell you and move on before you get hurt. It's probably not going to be easy, but in a few months, you'll look back and thank God you didn't waste any more of your time and energy on him and find it hard to remember what you ever liked in him to begin with.
Well, if you know it and you ain't telling yourself, you tripping.
Yeah.
You're an
I
idiot.
mean, Follow your intuition, man.
So there was a lot of things there,
Right.
right? And so the three things that Derek Jackson put, there's a workaround. There's a workaround to a lot of those things there. But if all those things apply,
You to jump off.
you just ain't you
Yeah.
just ain't that bright. I'm just put it out there like that. You
Yeah.
just ain't that bright.
He's just not that into you.
So that was good. I like that. I enjoyed that. It was very interesting. And I think
And ladies, if you feel as though you are seeing some of these flags, I mean, don't be afraid to confront the dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would be the best thing. Because either you'll find out the truth that you want to hear, that, you know, that he's into you, but these things are going on. Or maybe he'll be honest and be like, yeah, you know, like I think we're just cool as friends. And then you can stop wasting your time and energy.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
Good advice, Goose.
Yep.
And friends can always turn into something. Look at me and Tyra. I was
Right.
friend zoned with Tyra. And
You
then
wanted me from the
one
jump.
day I just broke out the chains.
He came kicking the door in.
Yep.
Give us free.
Yep. So I have a would you rather,
Did
guys.
you find a would you rather?
Yes, I do.
Cool.
All right. So
All right,
listen up.
let's have it.
Would you rather never shower again but get clean clothes every day, or never get clean clothes again but shower every day?
Oh man,
This is a nasty
Wait.
that's a tough
I'll
one.
reread it.
Sorry, what?
Wait.
Okay, listen
Wait, no,
again.
you don't have to reread it. I got it. Now, can I clean my own clothes? That's my question.
That's not.
Here's
You're
Goose with the
always trying
workaround.
to. Yes.
Listen,
That's all.
Listen,
Listen.
I
That's
can
not.
be
Take a
James
shower with my
Evans.
clothes on.
Listen, I could be like James Evans and wear the same pair of corduroy with the ripped back pocket every day if I could wash them.
But you
Well,
can't
that's what
wash them.
they're
They're dirty
saying.
clothes.
You never shower again, but you get clean clothes every day, or you never get clean clothes again, but you can shower every day.
See, now the word "get" implies that somebody's giving them to you. They're already my
Oh,
clothes.
Lord,
like
here
that.
you
I would take.
Oh, my God, here you go.
Here we go. I would take the clean clothes every day
Uh
and not be able to shower because I can monkey bath it.
huh. You can,
Ah,
I
see?
can
That's
monkey
true.
bath it
See?
and get some white.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think I would rather have.
Get your
I
two
agree. I would
wipes.
do the
They don't pay us. Though.
either baby wipes or make a side of the cross at the sink,
Son
but
of-
clean clothes definitely.
She said the sign of the cross.
Okay.
I mean, that's so hard though. Wait a minute,
What's the
because
point of
like,
clean clothes on a funky ass?
but I
I was saying, are the
just
drawers
said.
clean? I'm not putting on no
I
dirty
said
drawers.
baby wipes or make a sign of the cross at the sink. Did you not hear those words come out of my mouth?
Yeah, I heard those words, but
Do you understand what I'm meaning when I say make sign of the cross at the sink?
yeah, I understand what you mean.
Okay, so what I'm saying is there will be no panty pudding because I'm making a sign of the cross at the sink. But I want clean clothes.
There'd be no figgy pudding. No what?
Oh God.
Panty pudding.
Oh no.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't put on the same dirty drawers every day. I have to shower.
I need clean clothes.
Clean
Yeah.
clothes. Yeah, I had to have clean clothes.
Clean clothes. I'm gonna wrench off.
Rinse around and rinse it
You
off.
got- Listen,
You know what?
if you gotta run through the sprinkler on the lawn, wash your ass.
Exactly. Do you have another one?
I'll
Sure.
take. I'm washing my ass every day. So whichever one.
But your
that
clothes
one
will
sets
smell
my
like dead hookers and syphilis.
But see, I can control my activity. So I will
Your
sweat.
clothes-
like they want to walk.
Your
Hell
clothes
no.
gonna smell like the coronavirus.
Yep, you're gonna have corona on it. So I have another would you rather, guys, and this one is
All right, go
kind of
ahead.
really relevant for today. This whole social distancing thing. So this one is: would you rather be alone, your whole life, or never make any real friends?
I'd rather be alone than not have any real friends.
I would say the same thing. I'd rather be alone than not have any real friends.
I would
Tyler
love
calls
to
me
be
a loner
alone.
Anyway.
Huh?
I said, Tyler, you call me a loner anyway.
You are a loner.
Yeah. I am too, Justin. No worries.
That's that only child syndrome.
Probably.
It totally is.
Yeah. What about you, Goose?
It absolutely is.
I'll say alone because my true friends are my family.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about all my family. I'm talking about the cousins that ain't blood. I'm talking about all my family.
Mm-hmm.
If I called you bro, family.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Look, sometimes it's
True.
the ones that ain't blood that
That's true.
got your
That
back
stab you in
better
the
than
back.
your blood. Mm-hmm.
That is true. That is true.
Yep. Amen right
Yeah,
there.
how about that?
Yep.
So I guess we're going to wrap this up now. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. Make sure you're practicing social
I miss
distancing.
you guys before we leave, before you end us out. I miss your faces.
Oh, we miss you
we
too.
miss
We
y'all
can
too.
jump on the Zoom
A Zoom.
after we done this or something.
Zoom.
Yeah, we should do that.
All I want to do is Zoom. Is D Nice on? Is Club Quarantine on?
Come on now. D
He was
ain't
on
paying
earlier.
us. D Nice ain't
Oh,
paying
he
us.
not paying us. You done
Everybody
flipped-
just turn the show off.
Yep. Dang. He not on. That music he playing ain't even that good. It's like,
Now you just sound like a hater.
it's like
All right, well, hopefully this will be over soon so we can get back to our normal lives and resume sitting in the same room with each other while we're recording.
Right.
Absolutely. Hey, here on the 10-7 show, we're practicing social distancing, and you can too. But we want to thank you for listening to the show. Make sure you check us out on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and all that good stuff, or anywhere podcasts are sold. But they're free, and you can listen to us for free on all those spots. Check us out at 7 o'clock every day on newtwistradio.com. And, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at 107show. And you can email us at 107show at gmail.com. All right? And for Tara, Tyra, Goose, and myself, we want to thank you again, and we'll talk to y'all next time. We out of here. Peace.
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 Peace.